From New York and on the new Hot 97 app, Ebro in the morning on Hot 97.
I'm trying to follow a social media story that probably something Shani got on his weird Facebook world about some 12-year-old who was sheltered and his parents were really religious.
Right.
And he ended up having sex at 12.
No.
He never did.
He never had sex. In this story, he basically is a foreigner, and because his father was a pastor, sex education was never in the house nor in the
So
school.
how did the baby come around?
Well, he is an adult now telling the story, basically letting people know they need to have these conversations with their children because he was very naive. So now as he walks through the hallways with his girlfriend, feeling like he's the man, one of the days she comes over to him crying and says, "I'm pregnant." So he had never had sex with her and didn't understand the concept. He was like, yo, if that's my girl and she's pregnant, it's our baby.
You see why I'm perplexed?
God.
So basically, a 12-year-old who is now an adult sharing this story on social media. One day when he was 12, his little girlfriend ran over to him talking about, "I'm pregnant."
Right.
He didn't know how that could happen because he wasn't sexually educated.
Yeah, his parents never
He
spoke
didn't
to
go,
him about
"What?
sex.
I ain't never even had sex with you. What are you talking about?" Turns out, how many years later?
Maybe 10. He's in his 20s now, early 20s.
He's in his early 20s now. He just finds out the kid's not him?
No. We didn't even get to that part of the story. He basically,
Jeez Louise.
he goes home, he tells his mother, he's like, "Look, I got my girl pregnant." She's like, "Well, when did you have sex?" He's looking at her like, "Why you asking me that? You crazy." Like, whatever. Anyway, comes up with a plan. The principal calls, the mother's call. Everybody gets called into the school office. The girl's mother, his mother, him, and the principal. Basically, the mother's still yelling, "When did you have sex?" The other girl's mother didn't know. She's looking at her daughter like, "You're crazy. You're pregnant. What are you talking about? Why am I here?" The mother gives him a sex training class in front of everybody. Basically breaks it down. In order for this to be your child,
You had to insert your bing in her bow.
So it took him about maybe 30 seconds to actually comprehend what she was saying. And when it registered, he barked on everybody.
Because he was humiliated.
Yeah, he barks on the girl, calls her anything he could think of. He barks on her mother for raising her that way, barks on the principal.
At
Tells
12.
his-
This is at 12 years old.
This is how he's telling the story. And barks on his mother for never having this conversation with him.
Look,
Now-
at one point he says, look, when it clicked that I didn't get her pregnant and that she, in fact, cheated on me and got pregnant, I went off. This is a
Now,
lie.
I don't know if this is a true story. We have no way to validate this. We're taking this person's word for it, and it's very entertaining.
It's entertaining.
But it does bring up the conversation. 800-223-9797. My parents never talked to me about blank.
Yeah.
Because obviously a lot of people are going to call up and talk about sex, maybe, you know,
Yeah.
and we'll take those stories.
And it backfired? Or they just never talked to
They
you?
just never talked to me about it.
One of my girlfriends, we were having
Your
a
parents?
conversation, and her parents were so religious. Never even when she got her period, they didn't talk about it. She kind of had to figure it out on her
That's
own.
crazy to me.
You see what
They
I'm saying?
just did not want to talk about it. It was something they didn't speak of in the household. It's
I would
crazy.
think that you need to have a conversation. about. Sex
Absolutely.
too, but for women, like that's a process that a mother should. I would.
She
believe.
said she
I have a
learned
friend
at
who-
school.
I have a friend who has a really large ass. She told me that her mom never talked to her about carrying, sanitary wipes. You know what I'm saying? And making sure that the extra was extra clean throughout the day because she got extra friction.
Right.
So she didn't keep the extras.
So there's a lot going on down there.
Right, and she didn't know how to, make sure it was in her. One of her friends had to be like, "Look, you're not smelling right." And luckily it was when she was a teenager. But her mom never was like, "Yo."
Yeah. But how do we make out? Because sex education wasn't really in any of my schools that I really remember. Maybe high school, possibly.
Really? I had it. I remember it.
I remember
Junior
I
high
had it.
school, I don't remember that at all. And that's the time when you're promiscuous. And I didn't have those conversations in the crib either.
I didn't have them in the crib, but I had them in school. That's why I always say that it's so important. Because
My
it
dad,
wasn't
my
happening
dad
in
was
my
talking
house.
nuts when I was like 7. He was talking about everything all the time. And then also telling me what I was supposed to be looking out for. Don't fall for this trick in the book. Don't do that. Make sure you check this. Watch this over here. If you do X, Y, Z, this is going to be the end result. And I'm going to talk to you again when you turn. He was like periodic. And then I remember at 12 was the day he stopped me and was like, all right, look, check this out, fam. This is not a drill anymore.
Right. It could go down.
Lori and Yonkers, what did they teach you about? They did not teach you about.
Hey, I didn't have conversations with my parents about anything. I wasn't told about sex. I wasn't told about protection. I wasn't told about my menstrual cycle. I wasn't even told about dating. So it was hard for me to really learn about how to, like, love yourself on top of not knowing how to love yourself. I didn't really have guidance for relationships and how to take care of myself because of this.
So and you found out just through friends in school?
Yeah, through friends, through school, through, health education classes, through the streets, not really through my parents.
And do you have children now?
No.
Oh, wow. How old are you?
27.
Are you going to talk to your kids, though, when it's time?
Absolutely. I think that it was like a blessing and a curse because I learned that I would have to, work towards being a better parent in the future. But I also wasn't, I guess, blessed enough to have that education in my life growing up.
Wow. Well, salute to you, Lori. Keep us posted when you get pregnant and the kid turns. I may still be working here in a few years.
Oh, God.
When kids are like 7, 8, 9. We don't know. It depends on what this money looking like around here. But keep us posted. We'll do this again. We'll do this again in 10 years for Lori. Yo, Chibo.
Yo, what's up?
Where you at right now, bro?
Yo, Pittsburgh, Massachusetts.
And what is all that noise in the background?
I'm at work, man. I'm an electrical apprentice.
Oh, yo, shout to everybody up there working. Shout your shop out. Shout your shop out. Where you at?
Man, I work for the company right now, man. Nah, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that.
Okay, fair enough.
All right, Chibo, what did your parents not talk to you about?
My mom, it was just me and my mom. She did not talk to me about how to use the condom properly or whatnot.
Ooh.
Protection, okay.
So,
first of all, wait a minute. First off, I want to tell that dude who came up with that story about his girl being pregnant. So first I want to tell that dude to F out of here, man. Congratulations, you played yourself. And you're a liar.
Get out of here.
Yo, come on. Even though his parents didn't talk to him about sex education, he should have known better. There's no way that could have got pregnant if all he did was kiss her.
Yeah, but still.
I mean, he was 12 when it happened.
I don't know if we believe the story or not, but you, sir, you tried to put on a condom at what age?
I was like 10, 11. I had a little girlfriend, and I didn't know how this condom situation worked. So one late night, I wanted to go hang out with my girlfriend. I wasn't invited, but I wanted to hang out with her. So I slapped the condom on at my house. And then I went out walking towards the house.
He was like, yo, I got to put it on early and then show up with it on.
Like it was like socks. Oh.
Nina in Brooklyn, your parents didn't speak to you about blank. What?
Well, I was in the 4th grade, and I had to put my cat to sleep because he had leukemia.
Oh,
so
man.
I was under the impression that he was asleep. So for about 4 years, I'm in the 8th grade, and I always had this question, but I forgot, something would happen where I would always forget to ask. And my aunt came up from North Carolina, and I was like, Aunt Annette, what happens? Like, how do they feed the cat? Is it through a tube or what? She was like, what are you talking about? I'm like, my cat Johnny, he's asleep. We had to put him to sleep. And she's like, honey, your cat is dead.
Yo.